I know that it seems like we've been on vacation during the last couple of months since we left the US in August, but we have been working very hard to get ourselves settled in at our home in Koh Samui. And the kids had a break for their school. It's a Cambridge International School in Samui, and they have a week off this week. And then they have 3 weeks off at the end of the year and the beginning of next year, and 2 weeks off at the end of February, and then 2 weeks off in April. So we're going to be looking for travel opportunities then. And our visa situation should be pretty well squared away. So just a quick update. We have lots of footage and videos, but Steve is responsible for editing the longer form videos, and it just isn't happening because it's really challenging, and I'm not about to take it over because I don't think that I would be able to do it. But we were able to travel to Malaysia with a visa facilitator the very beginning of October, and we got our 90-day visas at that point by leaving the country with this visa facilitator in Malaysia. After that, we had to open our bank account. We couldn't figure out, many people have been able to open bank accounts without that 90-day visa. We could not find a way to do it despite our best efforts in getting a residency certificate, etc. So we just tried and tried, and then finally, once we had the 90-day visa, came back and didn't have the appropriate paperwork from the school, so had to come back again, and then finally had the appropriate paperwork from the school and were able to open a bank account. We are on a non-O visa, piggybacking off our kids' education visa. It's called a non-ed, which is a non-immigrant education visa for them with their school. So once we had all of that, we were able to open our bank account. The type of visa that we have means that each of us has to have about 500,000 baht in the bank for 1 month prior to getting that extension for 1 year, or getting, I guess, certified for 1 year on the 90-day visa that we have. And if we got retirement visas, which we would also be eligible for because we are old enough, you only have to be 50 to get a retirement visa in Thailand if you don't have kids that are school age or don't want to get an education visa yourself. Then you have to have 800,000 baht in the bank and I think it's for a longer period of time. It's not just a month pre and a month post. It's actually like a couple of months afterward. And I think a friend of ours from school said that he has to keep his money in that account, that 800,000 per person in the account, for 5 months total. So a very long time. It's obviously a little less money. So a million total baht is less than 30,000 US, which means that we can't use it for several months, or 2 months, let's say. But after this time period is over, we can use that for living expenses here in Thailand for the course of the next year. But we do have to have the money in for 2 months prior to extension or reapplication for the visa next year. So a longer period of time. So we are now in Phuket. We were able to drive to Phuket because we now have a car in Samui. So it's pretty easy venture to do that. We got on the 9 o'clock ferry. You have to be there about 8:30. Get on the ferry. You probably want to stay in the car until the person driving checks in, because we ended up having to pay twice for my ticket because I didn't realize that I would get my ticket when Steve checked in. So he drove onto the ferry. We had to go get on the ferry separately, and then the ferry is an hour and a half. Apparently it works like clockwork. And then we got to Surat Thani, and then the drive over was just, I think, like 3 hours, 15 minutes if you didn't want to stop. We did stop at a KFC. We don't do a whole lot of, I guess we have been doing KFC a couple of times. The kids like it. On the mainland, interestingly, in Samui, KFC menu is in Thai and in English. On the mainland, right before we got to Phuket, the menu was only in Thai, and so we had a very lovely clerk waiting on us at the KFC, and we just pointed number 2 on this and number 3 on that poster and got what we wanted. And so we had a little lunch, came over to the resort. It's a resort where we've stayed several times that we really like. So this is Marriott's My Cow Beach Resort on Phuket. And we're going to do a little bit of a longer video. Hopefully Steve will get the editing squared away. But right now we'll just show you a little bit of the outside if I can figure out how to spin the camera so that you can take a look at the other views. So once again, I don't know how Steve can figure out how to do this, but I just never can. So I'm going to go ahead and turn around and just do a quick look. So there's a towel hutch behind it. There's a kids club, and the kids play in there. There's a big slide in there, well, big as the room will allow, and then video games. There were some younger games in there too. The kids really liked it when they were little. The staff there is amazing. Some of the women that are there now were there when we came in 2019 and then again in 2021. So that's a great location within. And then this is the giant swimming pool, the big pool by the the biggest pool in the area. There's a smaller kids pool, and attached to this there is a volleyball area, and then there's a bar area over there. Very nice. They have a happy hour. And then I will just zip over here. Oh, there's Steve. I will zip over here to the kids pool, and we can take a look at that. So it's got a little water slide, which is really nice, and some buckets that tip over on their heads and stuff like that. So the kids really enjoy that. And so but they're getting older, and so they don't really, there you go. They don't really play there as much as they used to, but they did a little bit today because they wanted to go down the water slide. So there's also this restaurant, which is called Zest. They never really have good enough behavior for us to eat in there. You can get food at the outdoor bar, and that's very nice. For dining, kind of just as you're eating something at the pool. And then back behind there is something called Salatai, which is a room where they do yoga in the mornings. That's free. Maggie took a Muay Thai lesson there. It's just offered once a week. But she took a Muay Thai lesson there yesterday. She wants to learn Muay Thai, so it was a really good opportunity for her to give it a shot. So I had thought, maybe I'll zip over and do yoga in the mornings, but then I remembered that I didn't bring anything appropriate to work out in, because every time I do, I never work out. So that didn't end up working out too well for me. There's another building back there that was a bakery in the past. I don't know how long it's been in renovations, but apparently they're renovating for something else. So activities, there's a mini golf off to the side. There was a movie on Saturday night, and there will be one again, I think, on Wednesday night, just a movie at the pools. Really cool. So we just sat down here. They had this blow up movie screen, and the kids swam around, and we had a little, just a little bit of dinner. Maggie kept coming out, getting fries and nuggets, and then going back into the pool. And so we watched the movie on Saturday night, and I'm sure that we'll do it again on Wednesday night. There's also a fire show, and I think that's tonight. Again, this is all just sort of included. I know that you can stay here as a regular hotel. We've never done that. We trade for this using our timeshare, which we got many, many years ago. Some places are better than others, but this, apparently Marriott owns Interval International, someone told me. And so therefore now the Marriott Vacation facilities are part of the Interval trade. So we like to trade for the Marriott properties because they're typically really beautiful, and you may end up having to pay a little extra because they're big. This is a 2-bedroom condo. It has a stovetop. It doesn't have a dishwasher. That is a huge luxury in Thailand, and it doesn't have an oven, which is also a huge luxury in Thailand. But it's a really nice place to stay. Staff is always fabulous. We are having some difficulty getting some things sent to us from the United States, and so because Samui is so small, so we asked them to be shipped here to Phuket, and crossing fingers we will get our replacement credit cards today. They're supposed to be here. And then there was just the Halloween costumes. We've been invited by some friends to a Halloween party, and the Halloween costumes were delivered here. So that worked out great for us. So I think it's a really great place. We're here for a week. We're going to stay one extra night on Phuket because of the fact that that we were invited to a Halloween party here by some parents of a child that goes to our kids' school. And then we'll zip back. So kind of the reverse trip. We'll have to drive over the mainland. So that'll take us again, we're going south on Phuket. So we'll have to drive up to the top of the island for about an hour, and then 3.5 hours, maybe 3 hours over the mainland, and then we get on a ferry to go back to Samui. And so obviously the ferry leaves at a certain time. We just need to make sure that we're there on time. And then once we get back to Samui, drive off the ferry, and then, it's, I don't know, half an hour back to our villa from there. So we're having a great time, enjoying the vacation. The kids are perplexed why we keep calling this a vacation, since they said we are on vacation. We live in Chicago. We're just staying in Samui. And so they're thinking the school is somewhat of a vacation, and I think it kind of is, because they almost never have homework. And in the US, they had homework every night from kindergarten. So they're enjoying it, and Steve's starting to look around maybe a little bit for a job now. All right. This is Jacqueline for the Meyer to Merrier. Please like and subscribe, and we'll try to keep some of these shorter videos going.